promenade here on Blue Rink. Try to do this without dropping things. Alright. I believe this is working. And your Northern Alliance Black JV team is going up against the Northern Alliance JV Gold. Most of these have played together in different organizations. So I'd be surprised if there are many players on either team that these kids don't know. I know most of these kids. However, with the different numbers, I may still mess up some names, so apologies if I mess up your child's name. And if you're watching right now and you can hear me, if you could throw a comment in the chat, just let me know that the audio is working, I'd appreciate it. Just joined us, and the Northern Alliance JV Black are in the white jerseys. A nice variety of Standing Lake, Highland, Boulder, Northern Alliance, and the athlete tracker core training. And then the Northern Alliance JV Gold are in the dark jerseys. We have 12 and 2 goalies today. It'll be Sawyer starting in net. And I'm thinking it'll be a little less chaotic than yesterday. We made sure the roster was correct in game sheets. I think Austin has a little better feel for who he wants on which lines and who's going to play well together. And again, if you could throw a comment in the chat if you can hear me, I would appreciate it. Make sure I'm not just talking to myself. We'll get started. Robbie starting out, taking the face off. Off the face off. Bryant bringing it up the near boards into their zone. Robbie pushing it to the corner. And it throws through the crease. Gold throws it up the far boards. Long shot wide of the net. Off the end boards. 53 is not a number I have on my list, so I'm not sure who that is. Gold with the puck, pushing it up the near boards, out to neutral. Robbie turning it around at the blue line, sending it deep into their zone. Brody fighting for the puck, comes to the blue line. Ethan sending it back into their zone. Brought off the far boards in front. Centering pass missed Robbie and comes to the near boards. Gold pushes it up out to neutral. Into our zone. Nice poke check by Ethan at the top of the slot. Brody picking the puck up, skating it through neutral into the offensive zone. Working around one, pushed into the far corner. Right out in front, and a save by the goaltender. It's Grayson Coulter in net for Gold. Puck loose down the ice. Logan picking it up along the end boards. Pushed up the near boards and out to neutral. Bryant picking it up, skating into offensive zone. Push to the left. Centering pass. Shot goes wide. But the goaltender grabs it and hangs on. 13-19 left in the first period. 0-0 is the score. Face-off in their zone. Mason taking the face-off. Sends it back for Nikolai. Nikolai throws it back to the corner. Carter picking up the end. Centering pass went off the side of the net. Gold throws it back out to neutral. Everything skating through neutral. Nice poke check by Nikolai. Pass back to the blue line. Mason trying to get it out of the zone. It's turned around. Carter skating up behind our net. Throws it up the near boards. Kept in our zone. Sent back to the corner. Centering pass hit a skate. Comes to Mason. Mason skated out through center into the offensive zone. Backhanded shot. And saved by Grayson. Hangs on. Or no, he did make the save. Mason with the score to give us a 1-goal lead with 12:34 left in the first. I thought he had it in his glove, but pleasantly surprised. Robbie on the face-off again. Sent up the far boards and Gold jumps it into our zone. Turned around. Hadley sends it out to neutral. Gold. Pass intercepted by Hadley. Nice poke check. She pushes it up the far boards for Henrik. Henrik sweeps it in the offensive zone. Turned around by Gold. Gold skates behind their own net. Nice poke check by Henrik with the steal. Throws it on goal and in! Off of Grayson's shoulder and into the net. Henrik extending the lead to 2 goals, 2-0 with 11:58 left in the first period. Robbie on the face-off again. Sweeps it back to the blue line. Bryant picking it up in our zone. Long pass across. Ethan throws it into the ref. Picks it back up, skates up the far boards. Hadley sweeps it into the offensive zone. Pushes it to Ethan, sends it to the side of the net. Henrik ties up the player. It's got the puck right next to him. Didn't see it. Gold comes out with the puck, skating up the near boards. Into the offense, into our zone. And it trickles in on goal. Sawyer with the save and hangs on. Complains about the snow job. .24 left in the first period. Back through neutral. Gold skating into our zone. Ethan forcing a wide centering pass, a shot. And a goal. Delayed whistle. Thank you. So Gold with a goal at 11:04 left in the first period. So it's 2-1 Black. Mason taking the face off, sweeps it back into our zone. Bryant picking it up in the corner, throws it across for Ethan. Chips it up the far boards, it's taken away. Gold walks out front, shot over the net, bouncing up the near boards. Gold tying up the puck in the corner, skating it behind our net. Centering pass tipped to the near boards. Bryant sends it out to the blue line for Mason. Mason skating through neutral into the offensive zone. And a shot and a pad save by Grayson. Back at the side of the net, turns around. Pass back to Ethan. A long shot, blocked. And Gold with the puck. Skating into our zone. A shot, the puck goes wide. There's going to be a tripping call. And they're giving him a penalty shot. That's probably a good call. As a goalie parent, I don't like it. I will say that much. That's Ethan, or Evan. Taking the shot, he walks in, a shot and a save by Sawyer. Keeping the score 2-1, 10-10 left in the first period. Sawyer and Evan have been teammates on multiple teams over the last couple of years. Robbie taking the face-off. Carter controls, skates it out to neutral. Puts it into the offensive zone. Pushed around the end boards. Gold skating it up the near boards. Out to neutral. Nikolai turning it around at our blue line. Oh, not getting out of the zone. It's dumped back to the end boards. Charlie picking up behind our net, passing out to the blue line. It's turned around and sent back behind. Nikolai picks it up. Passes up the near boards, it's tipped, pushed to the near boards, sent back behind our net again. Nikolai picking it up, lost the handle, wraparound attempt. Sawyer with the save and cover. 9:24 left in the first period, keeping it 2-1. Mason on the face-off again. Wants it back for Charlie. Gold bringing it off the end boards, walks in front, a shot and a save by Sawyer. Gold regains the puck, turns around in the near corner. Nikolai tying him up. Gold passes to the far corner, out to the blue line. Thrown in front and tipped wide. Nikolai picking up the loose puck. Gets hooked, no call. Passes out to Mason and gets it up to neutral. Mason's getting into the offensive zone. Shot blocked. That didn't feel good. Charlie keeping in their zone. Oh, it's turned around. Sent out. And skating into our zone. Gold pushed wide to the corner. Ooh. Out in front of the net, and it's swept wide of the net. Gold retains the puck in the far corner. Nice poke at the blue line, getting it out to neutral. Hendrick with the steal along the near boards. Throws it on goal and a stick save by Grayson. Gold picks up the puck behind their net. Nice poke check by Charlie. Puck comes back to Hendrick. He tries to throw it through the slot. Nobody's there. And the puck never got there either. Bryant with a shot from the blue line is tipped to the far corner. Going up the far boards out to neutral and down the ice. And it'll be icing with 7:44 left in the first period. Robbie taking the face off. Back and forth out to the neutral zone. Bryant with the puck, turns it around. Long pass to Robbie at the blue line. Gets tied up along the boards. Regains the puck, throws it into the ref. Ethan dumps it into the end boards. And it's thrown around. Comes back to Bryant in the neutral zone. Passes across to Ethan. Ethan chips it into the offensive zone. Ethan with a steal in the neutral zone. Back to Robbie, tipped out to neutral. Robbie picks it up on the fly, skating into the offensive zone. Tipped wide. Picks it up along the end boards, takes the check. Turned around in the corner. Off some skates. Gold regains the puck. Skates it out to neutral. Into our zone. Ethan with the poke check, turns it around momentarily. Gold regains the puck, brings it out in front. Sawyer breaks up the centering pass. Gold regains the puck in the slot, thrown on goal, and it's bouncing. Sawyer with the grab. He hangs on with 6:21 left in the first period. Mason on the faceoff. Swept to the blue line. Gold dumping it along the far boards. Mason picks up Blue's puck. Skates behind our net. Pushes up the near boards. Tied up with skates. Mason comes back out with it. Pushes it out to neutral. Gold with the steal. Dumps it back to our zone. Nikolai with the puck in the face-off circle. Passes up to Carter. Mason throws it out to center. Carter with a check at center ice, tipped out, and he's hurt. I don't like that. I'm glad to see him up, skating to the bench, but don't want to see kids get hurt. None in these games. long conversation with the ref at the scoring booth. So the goaltender for Gold and Sawyer, who was our goaltender today, they were goalie partners this last season for Stanley Lake. So if they dropped gloves at center ice, I would find it very surprising. Entertaining, but surprising. Mason's getting it into offensive zone, gets pushed off the puck. Turnaround shot tipped behind the net. Gold throws it to the near corner. Skating out to neutral. Nice poke check from Nikolai, breaking up the play. Carter sends the puck to the near corner. Into their skates. Nikolai picks up the loose puck, throws it up the near boards. Mason picks it up, skating out to neutral. Pushed into the offensive zone. Puck sent across out to neutral. Addy pushing it back into our zone. Nikolai passes it off the far boards. Robbie picking it up, skating out to the blue line, just past. Doesn't connect, and Gold turns it around in their zone. Puck sent up the near boards and cross. Gold skating into our zone. Ethan stopping the play. Robbie tips it out to neutral. Bring it into our zone. They say no icing. Nikolai picks it up, passes over to the far corner. Ethan sends it back to the near boards. Off of Nikolai skates out to the blue line. He picks it up, skating through neutral to pass across to Hadley, who doesn't connect. Ethan with the steal neutral ice. Skates to the blue line into their zone. Tied up along the end boards. Pushes the puck to the side. Comes up the near boards and out to neutral. Nice poke check by Ethan. And that was again a penalty call. And into our zone, and that will be with the whistles blown. So Ethan will go to the box. So 2 for roughing. So we'll have a 2-minute penalty kill with 3:25 left in the first period. Off the face-off. Thrown up the far boards. Nikolai tips it out to neutral. We only have 3 players on the ice for that puck drop. That's fun. Shot tipped over the net to the near corner. Gold keeping in our zone. Slot thrown over the net. Nikolai picking up on the end boards. Goes up the far boards. Comes out to neutral. Logan, centering pass just missed. Brody's stick tipped back into the offensive zone. Grayson sends it out to neutral. Bryant turns it around, throws it back into their zone. Long pass, tipped at the blue line. No call for that hit. It was a little high. All right, back into their zone. Grayson dumps it to the near corner. Right up to the ref. Comes through neutral into our zone. Nikolai pushing it wide. .29 seconds left in the penalty kill. Brock throws it on goal from far blue line. throws it around the end boards. Getting up the near boards. Tipped into our zone. Bryant with a poke check. Throws it up the near boards. Pushed behind our net. Throws it up the far boards. Penalty has expired. We're back to 5-on-5. Long shot. And a goal to tie it up at 2. I don't know if that was redirected. I honestly was looking at the clock when the shot came through. So 1:22 left in the first period, and we're tied at 1. Or I'm sorry, tied at 2. Mason taking the face off. Control. Oh, nice. Nice shot to Addy blocking the pass. Carter throws it into their zone. It comes back out for Charlie. Charlie throws it off the far boards. And poke checks at the blue line, but it trickles in. A shot and a save by Sawyer. 1:01 left in the first period, keeping it 2-2. Face-off kept in our zone. A long shot over the net. Nikolai picking it up. Passes up the far boards to Charlie. I'm sorry, Addison. Her pass tipped. Turned around, pushed to our blue line. Charlie throws it back to the neutral. And Gold comes into our zone with the puck. And a shot and a save by Sawyer. Addy picks it up. Turns it around along the far boards, or end boards. Passes to Nikolai. Gold with the steal sends it to the near corner. Kept in our zone. Pass blocked in front. Gold brings it out of the corner. Centering pass blocked. Shot saved by Sawyer. Rebound comes to Mason. He skates it out to neutral. Into the offensive zone. A shot over the net as time expires. So we will go to the second period, tied at 2. Another 15 minutes on the clock. Refs dealing with the door here. Score tied 2-2. JV Black in the white jerseys, JV Gold in the black jerseys. Bobby on the face-off. Puck comes loose and Gold comes out with it. Skating into our zone. Ethan forcing the play to the corner. Puck comes off the back of the net. Drawn off the end boards. Puck pushed to the near corner. Bird cycles behind our net. Nice poke check by Ethan. Throws the puck off a skate. Comes out in front. A shot and a pad save by Sawyer. Puck sent to the near boards. Tipped out to neutral. Ethan kicking it along. Shot blocked. Gold throws the puck up the far boards. Out to neutral. Bryant picking it up. Throws it into he throws it into the bench. Into one of the Gold players. Doesn't look too worse for wear. 14:07 left in the second period. Mason taking the face-off. Dumps it into our zone. Right with the puck behind our net. Passes out to Logan. I believe that's Logan. He skates into the offensive zone. Centering pass intercepted. And Gold turns it around, skating to neutral. Bryant with the steal. Tips it to Mason. Pass comes back to center for Logan. He skates into the offensive zone. In front, a shot and a goal. 13:33 left in the second period, and Logan has made it 3-2. Mason on the face-off, runs it back off the near boards. Gold turns it around, sends it in. Walking into our zone by himself. Throws it off the far boards. Brody pushes it up the far boards blue line and then out to neutral. He's got Mason to his right. His pass tipped to the near boards, are well off sides. Oh good, these refs know the rules today. Yep, another long shot and a save by Grayson. He hangs on. 12:57 left in the second period. Yesterday's game, our refs started off not having delayed offsides, and then at a random point in the third period, they started allowing delayed offsides. Totally not confusing. Robbie taking the face-off. Runs it back to Carter. Long shot tipped on goal. That save by Grayson, thrown out to the side of the net. Goal keeping it in their zone. Thrown on goal, but tipped wide. Robbie tying up the player. Regaining the puck. Hands it off for Carter. His pass hit a ref. Pass out for Addy, and a shot tipped wide by Grayson. Addy throws it through the slot to the far boards. Gold trying to get it out of the zone. Carter keeping it in, throws it to the near corner. Addy throws it behind the net. Carter fighting for the puck along the far boards. Nikolai. And it's chipped out to neutral, bouncing into our zone. Addison, fanned on the pass. Backhand shot goal. 11:57 left in the second period. It's tied at 3. Mason on the face-off. Gives it back to Ethan. Throws it on the boards. Along the near boards, and Gold comes out with it. Henrik swatting at it. Puck comes into our zone. Ethan pushes it forward. Skating out to neutral. Long pass for Mason. Picks it up at the blue line, skating into their zone. In front, it's shot tipped wide. Ethan picking it up, pushing up the far boards. Goal gets it out to neutral. Connect the poke check. And they're offsides. 11:20 left in the second period. We'll face off in the neutral zone. Mason on the face off. Gold pushes it into our zone. Backhand shot and a save by Sawyer. He covers 11-11 left in the second period. Robbie on the face-off. Sort of controls. We regain the puck. Pass across to Robbie. Skates into offensive zone. Into the slot, and it's poke checked away. Goalie coming out of their zone. Nice steal from Bryant. Puck comes into our zone. Bryant regains it, throws it off the boards, but it hit a body, came back to Bryant. He skates it through center into their zone. Gets behind the defense, a shot and a save. Robbie with the follow-up goes just wide. Gold trying to get out of their zone. Logan with the steal. Top of the face-off circle, push to the side of net. He gets it out in front. Puck behind their net, sent up the far boards. Brought out to neutral. Brought it into our zone. Ethan with a poke check gets the puck to Bryant. He passes up to Brody. And Logan gets in the way of the pass. Turned around at their blue line. Brody with the puck in their zone. It's the puck to Robbie. Robbie behind their net with the puck. Gets pushed to the corner. Puck's in the far boards. Bryant keeping in the offensive zone. His pass tipped. Comes out to neutral. Gold skating it into our zone. Backhand shot. Save. Rebound goes behind the net. Ethan picking up, skating up the near boards. Into the offensive zone. Poke checked away. Mason picks it up. A shot. A save by Grayson. Gold bringing the puck out of their zone. Through neutral into ours. Going on the side of the net. Sawyer saves. And he hangs on. 9:08 left in the second period. Mason taking the face off. Push it forward, turned around, shot hit, escape, bounces up the near boards. Gold comes out with it, throws it through the slot. Nikolai pushes it back up the far boards. And hits and skate, comes out to neutral. Mason picking it up, skating into the offensive zone. It's poke checked away. Charlie with a shot. And a save by the goaltender. Sorry, it was Hadley. Addison sends it behind the net for Mason. Mason's pass hit a stick. Turn it around in the corner, sends it back over for Addison. She works at their boards, passes back to Charlie. Thrown on goal, and it's blocked in front. Nice job, Addison with the steal, a shot, and a blocker save. Rebound goes up into the netting. We'll have a face-off in the offensive zone with 8:08 left in the second period. Robbie on the face-off. Kicks it over for Carter. Passes back. Charlie, who sends it to the corner. Robbie tips it off the far end boards. Passes out to Carter in the top of the crease. And it's tipped away. Gold bringing it out of their zone through into our end. And a shot wide of the net. Goes up the far boards. Pass intercepted, and Nikolai throws it out to neutral. Henrik chasing it up the far boards. Has the stick lifted. Gold throws it across and scanning it into our zone. Walk out in front, a shot and a save by Sawyer. Sent back out to neutral. Henrik with the steal at center ice, skating into the offensive zone. Shot hit his skate, goes to the corner. He tries to throw it back out front. Gold bringing it back out of their zone. Nikolai, I think Carter's going to go to the box. Either that or he's offsides. I thought he was getting called. Just offsides. Up the face-off in the neutral zone with 6:58 left in the second period. Into our zone, out in front. A shot and a save by Sawyer. Centering pass, turnaround shot fanned on, and then sent just wide of the net. Pushed to the near corner. Gold sent the puck into the ref. Gold bringing out front. Logan with a steal, passes to Brody. Brody gets through into the offensive zone. They're offsides, and we'll have another face-off at 6:30 left in the second period. Mason on the face-off again. Controls. Ethan turns it around in the neutral zone, skates in the offensive end, throws it on goal, and a pad save by Grayson. Loose in front. Ethan regains the puck, skates it behind their net. Gets tripped. And Gold pushes it back out to neutral. Logan with the steal. Regroups in our zone. Pushed it up the far boards. Gold keeping it in our zone. Ethan picking it up along the end boards. Chips it up for Brody. Sent to the near corner. Bryant picking it up. Lost the handle. And Gold regains it 3-0. Sawyer sweeps it out to Brody, who sends it across the ice for Logan. Skates into the offensive zone. Centering pass tipped to the far corner. Ethan keeping it in the offensive zone. Logan with the puck, skating. Centering pass is shot wide of the net. Mason regains the puck. There's a whistle. Somebody's going to go for tripping, and I'm not sure who. So we will go on a power play with 5:06 left in the second period. Robbie on the face-off. Back to Ethan. Pass to Bryant. Long shot tipped on goal. And a stick save by Grayson. And there's another whistle. I think it's going to be 4-on-4 for a minute 51. Robbie's going to go to the box. I didn't see what for. He's going for tripping. So 4:56 left in the second. 4-on-4 for a minute 51. Logan on the face-off. Right up in the skates. Come back to Logan. He skates it up the far boards, out to neutral. Lost the handle. It's turned around at their blue line. Nice poke check at center ice by Charlie. She sends it into the offensive zone. Gold regrouping behind their net. Nice poke check. In open ice, Logan pushing it up the near boards, out to neutral. Pushed over to the far boards. Nikolai chipping it back out to neutral. Going into our zone. Nick blocks it. It's tipped to the far boards. Brody lifting his stick. Tied up in the corner. Nikolai picks up the loose puck. Throws it off the near boards out to neutral. Gold cycling in the neutral zone. Skating into our end. Nice poke check by Charlie. Loose puck comes to Logan. There's a whistle. I think there's going to be matching minors. Both for high stick. So 36 seconds left in the 4-on-4. There's still play 4-on-4. Puck pushed to the corner. Chips it up the near boards. Pass across to the far boards. Gold dumps it back into our zone. Charlie tips it up the near boards. Gold turns it around, skating behind our net. Nice poke check by Mason. Regains the puck in the corner, pushes it up the far boards. Addison chipping it along out to neutral. Passes it up the near boards. Pushed into our zone. Mason breaking up the play, pushing into the corner. Both penalties have expired. We're back to 5-on-5. Pass out to the top of the slot. Hadley with a great play at center ice. Then lost an edge in their zone. Ethan stopping him along the far boards. Gold regains the puck. Going up the far boards. Skating into our zone. Shot tipped wide by Nikolai. Gold regaining the puck. Centering pass and a shot and a save by Sawyer. Puck sent to the near boards. Gold regaining the puck. Another shot wide of the net. Puck just loose. Mason finally picking it up. Skating out to neutral, up the far boards, and into the offensive zone. Centering pass tipped. Hadley had it momentarily and it's taken away. Gold skating into our zone. Walking out in front. Looseness in front of the net. Ethan sends it to the blue line. Mason pushes it forward for Hadley. She passes back to Mason. A shot and a goal off the crossbar. Great pass from Hadley. So with 1:30 left in the second period, Black will go up 4-3. Robbie on the face-off. Goal comes out with it, skating into our zone. Push to the corner. Comes out in front, sort of thrown in towards the net. Puck comes loose for Henrik. He pushes it into their zone. Goal regains the puck. Robbie with a steal at the blue line. Comes back out to neutral. Henrik pushes it back into the offensive zone, throws it on goal. And it's thrown back out to neutral. Bryant picking it up in our zone. Passes it across for Ethan. Ethan throws it off the near boards for Henrik. Into the offensive zone. His pass tipped. And Gold sends it back out to neutral. They bring it into our zone. Bryant throws it off the far boards and it comes out to the top of the slot. Nice poke check by Carter. Robbie picking it up at the blue line. Pass up for Henrik as he skates in the offensive zone. A shot and a save by Grayson. Oh, bouncing in the slot. Backhanded shot. Pass out to the blue line. Bryant, a shot that's blocked. Comes back to Carter. He passes back to Bryant. It's tipped out to neutral. Ethan skating over, picking up the loose puck. Skating behind our net. Long pass out to center for Henrik as time expires on the second period. We'll go to the third, up 3-2. Another 15 minutes on the clock. We'll switch stands one more time. Mason on the face-off. Sends it deep into their zone. Brings out to neutral. Into our zone. Broke. Another shot and a save by Sawyer. Puck goes behind the net. Bryant pushes it up the far boards. Owen throws it behind our net. With the steal in the corner. He skates it out to neutral. Into the offensive zone, but we're offside. 14-13 left in the third. Mason on the face-off. Logan pushes in the offensive zone, turns around and lost the handle. Gold with the puck in the neutral zone. Skating into our end. Nice poke check, sending the puck to the corner and around up the far boards. Ethan pushing it out to neutral. Mason picking it up, skating into the offensive zone. Pass across to Ethan, a shot. Puck comes out to Logan. He pushes it back behind the net. Pass across for Brody. Throws it back to the corner. Pushed up the far boards. Throws it up the far boards. Bryant keeps it in the offensive zone. Mason looks around a couple of players. It comes out to neutral. Brody playing the puck in the neutral zone. Passes across to Bryant. Chips it up the far boards. Comes back to Bryant. He skates into the offensive zone. Throws it on goal and a save by Grayson. Gold sends it up the far boards. Logan turning it around, pushing it back into the offensive zone. Checked away in the far corner. It comes out to neutral. And Gold comes into our zone with the puck. A shot blocked by Nikolai and sent up the near boards, but kept in our zone. Puck comes out to the top of the crease, and Sawyer just covers to get the face-off. 12:28 left in the third period. Robbie on the face-off. Sent to the far corner. Charlie throws it up the far boards. Robbie brings the loose puck out behind our net. Pushes it out to neutral. Maddie pushes it forward. Gold turns it around. Robbie with a steal at our blue line. Gold picks it up. Passes out to the top of the slot. Long shot and a glove save by Sawyer. He hangs on. 11:52 left in the third period. Robbie tied up on the face-off. Hadley sends it out to Assen in the blue line. She pushes it through neutral over to Nikolai. Skates in the offensive zone. Tied up in the corner. Addie brings it off the wall. Shot off the blocker. Back to Charlie. She passes to Robbie. Robbie throws it on goal and loose in front. Gold comes out with it, skating into neutral. Into our zone. Shot tipped up into the netting. With 11-12 left in this third period, we'll have another face-off in our zone. Mason on the face-off. Comes to the far board. Gold with the shot tipped just wide. Brody with the steal. Turns it around in the near corner. His pass hit a skate. Gold throws it out in front. Shot and goal. So Gold ties it up with 10:54 left in the third period. It's now 4-4. Grayson on the faceoff. Push the puck into the offensive zone. Throws it on goal, and a save by Grayson, who hangs on. 10:47 left in the third period. Still tied at 4. Grayson moves it back for Brian. Throws off the far boards. Picked up behind their net. Throws it up the near boards and brought up to neutral. Skating through into our zone. Backhanded shot, and Sawyer with the save, and he hangs on. 10:29. Robbie on the face-off. Brody throws it behind our net for Ethan. Ethan skates it up, throws it out to neutral for Robbie. And it missed, so it'll be icing with 10-12 left in the third period. Robbie on the face-off again. Push to the corner for Brody. Brody throws it out to neutral ice. Going off the far boards. Ethan turns it around. Passes it across for Brody. Skates it through neutral. Checked off the puck at the blue line. Comes back for Ethan. Skates out of our zone. Pushes it into the offensive end. Tips it on goal, and a save by Grayson. 9:41 left in the third period. The face-off sent to the near boards. Lost the handle and comes out to neutral. Gold skating through into our zone. Nikolai tying up the player. Puck comes loose. And out in front. A shot. Well, I don't know if it was a shot or not, but it was on goal. Sawyer covers. We'll have another face-off with 9:22 left in the third period. Robbie on the face-off. Moves it back to the corner. Goes back to Robbie behind the net, and he throws it up the near boards. Throws the end boards. Nikolai digging for it. Throws it up the far boards for Ethan. Ethan's pass just misses. Brody picks it up, skating through neutral. Pass it back across to Ethan, who dumps it into the offensive zone. Logan picking it up, skating behind their net. And back to the slot. In front, and a shot off the post, but not in. Gold picking up the rebound, skating through center into our zone. Tied up, not able to get a shot off. Logan pushes it up the far boards. Let's turn around. Gold comes into our zone with the puck. Nice job by Charlie breaking up the play. Ethan pushing it behind our net. Turns it around in the near corner. His pass hit a body. Charlie chips it up out to neutral. Hadley pushes it up the far boards, dumps it in behind their net. Goes back out to neutral. Gold pushes it up the near boards into our zone. A shot and a save by Sawyer. Brody picking the puck up. Long pass out to neutral. Gold with the steal. Weird bounce off the boards. Mason pushing in the offensive zone. He walks in. A shot over the net. Coming up the near boards. Comes back out to neutral. Bryant throws it off the near boards. Brody throws it up the boards for Hadley. She throws it out to neutral. And loose down the ice. Gold throws it up the near boards again. Brought into our zone. Brody breaking up the play. Mason picking up the loose puck. Turns it around. Gold regains the puck. Walk out in front. After a shot tipped up into the netting. We'll have another face-off with 6:39 left in the third period. Logan on the face-off. Bryant with the puck behind our net, passes up near boards. That's neutral. Henrik with the steal on our ice. Logan Brown breaking up the play. Puck comes out to neutral. Bryant picking it up, passes up for Logan. Comes back into our zone. Bryant with another steal at the blue line. Gold again, trying to get it into our zone. Moves back out to neutral. Then jumped into our zone. Brody picking it up behind our net. Long pass broken up in the neutral zone. Gold comes back into our zone, but they had a player still in. So it's offsides. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. 5:49 left in the third period. Mason on the face-off. To neutral, Mason picking it up. Skating in the offensive zone, jumps it to the corner. Henrik picks it up along the end boards. Pushes it to the near corner. Carter throws up the near boards and it comes all the way down the ice. Bryant turning it around. Gold bringing it back into our zone. Nikolai picking it up along the near boards. Bryant throws it out to neutral. Gold's pass intercepted by Carter, and he skates in the offensive zone. Shot over the net, bounces up the near boards. And it brings it off the boards, and Gold with the steal. Centering pass, and it turns it around. And Gold with the steal at the blue line. Bring it into our zone. Puck comes loose. Carter picks it up, pushes it behind our net. Gold the pass, not able to get a shot on goal, and then at the top of the crease, Sawyer covers. 4:41 left in the third period, still tied 4-4 on a face-off in our zone. Robbie on the face-off again. Long shot from Gold, and a save by Sawyer. He hangs on. Another face-off in our zone. The near boards. Gold throws it to the side of the net. Then out in front. Top of the slot, shot blocked. Sawyer reaches out, corrals it. 4:23 left in the third period. Robbie on the faceoff. Ethan pushing it behind our net. Leaves it for Charlie. Charlie throws it up the far boards. Ethan picking it up, pushing it eventually out to neutral. Logan taking a nap on the ice. I'm sorry I didn't get that on film. Guess I'm not on film. Mason on the face-off. Mason throws the puck, skating in the offensive zone. A shot off the post. That's at least 3 that rang off the post but not gone in. They're pushing the puck along the near boards. Comes into our zone. Logan picking it up. Stops behind our net. Passes up to Brody. Brody skating through neutral into the offensive zone. Passes to Mason. A shot and a save by Grayson. Gold comes out with it through neutral into our zone. Well, almost into our zone. And fanned on the shot right in front. Centering pass and the shot goes wide. Pushed to the near corner. Logan picks it up beside our net. Chips up the far boards. Skating through center into the offensive zone. Regains the puck. A shot and trickles in. 2:55 left in the third period. The refs might have missed a hooking call on the other end of the ice. But Mason puts a 5-hole and it just trickles in. So a 1-goal lead for Black. The last 3 minutes of the game. Robbie on the faceoff again. Pushes it back into our zone. Brody skating it behind our net. Goes off the far boards for Addie. She skates it into the offensive zone. Pass to Robbie, doesn't quite connect. And Gold turns around, skating it through neutral. Into our zone. Stop, a shot over the net. Bounces up the far boards. Addison chipping at it. Robbie in to help out. Comes off the boards, sent to the corner. Brody turns it around. Pushes to the end board. Centering pass broken up by Bryant. Gold continues to control the puck. Their pass comes all the way down the ice. 2 minutes left in the third period. Comes down to neutral. Bryant skating it back in the offensive zone. A long shot, saved by Grayson. Loose in front. Addison throws it back up the near boards. And Gold comes into the zone all by himself, and a shot and a stick saved by Sawyer. Gold with the puck again. Another shot and another save. Sawyer covers. 1:30 left in the third period. There's a little smack talking going on between teammates there. It looks like Gold has taken their timeout. It's 1:30 left in the third. Black is up 5-4. We're getting 90 seconds left in the third period. The goaltender is way out of the crease, but they haven't pulled him yet. As soon as I see him head to the bench, I'll try to let everybody know. Off the face-off. Sent to the corner. Mason throws it off the far boards. Ooh. Tipped almost on goal. Grayson comes out of net onto the bench. Puck comes free. Ethan throws it off the glass. Bounce up to Mason. He gets out to neutral. 1 minute left in the third period. So Gold does have 6 skaters right now. They come into the zone with the puck. Centering pass in the slot. Backhanded shot. Sawyer with the save. He held onto it with his big toe. He gets the whistle at 44 seconds left in the third period. And Grayson stays on the bench. Robbie on the face-off. Logan with the steal after Gold controls. Gets it into the offensive zone, but it hit his skate, so it comes loose. Robbie digging for it. It comes out to the blue line. Charlie keeps it in the offensive zone. 25 seconds left in the game. Gold comes into our zone. Shoot it! Thrown through the crease to the far corner. Puck comes behind the net. Ethan ties up the player. Kicks the puck up the near boards. 5 seconds left in the game. A shot and a save by Sawyer. Puck goes to the far corner. Ethan throws it down the ice out to neutral, and time expires. And your Northern Alliance JV Black will win the game by 1. Really, a 1-goal game is exactly what we were hoping for with these two teams. And no fighting penalties. It's always a bonus in High Plains. Our next game will be on the schedule as soon as we figure out how to get that done. I believe it'll be next weekend, but I'm not certain. Until then, thanks everybody, and go Northern Alliance.